Here's something most blokes over 60 won't admit. That private habit you've had for decades might actually be destroying your prostate, killing your circulation, and robbing you of the vitality you once had. And the worst part? You've got no bloody clue it's happening. Stick around because what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about men's health after 60. G'day, mates. Welcome to ManStrong. I've spent over a decade working with Australian men in their 60s and 70s, and I can tell you this: the conversations that happen behind closed doors would shock you. Not because blokes are doing anything wrong, but because they're doing something right in completely the wrong way. And it's costing them their health, their confidence, and their relationships. Before we dive deep, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. We're building the strongest community of Australian men who refuse to let age define their limits. And drop a comment below telling me which state you're watching from. I love seeing our tribe spread across this great country. Now, let's get into it. What I'm about to share isn't some woke nonsense or feel-good rubbish. This is real physiology, real consequences, and real solutions that most doctors are too uncomfortable to discuss with you. The issue that's silently damaging thousands of Australian men starts with how modern technology has rewired our brains. Over the past 20 years, something fundamental has shifted in male health, and it's got nothing to do with diet or exercise. It's about overstimulation. See, after 60, your brain's reward system, the part that releases dopamine and makes you feel pleasure, it starts losing flexibility. It doesn't bounce back like it did when you were 30. Now here's where it gets dangerous. When you consistently rely on high-intensity visual content for stimulation, you're flooding your brain with signals it was never designed to handle at this stage of life. Your brain adapts by becoming numb. It builds tolerance. Suddenly, real physical touch feels dull. Genuine intimacy feels distant. Pleasure becomes mechanical instead of meaningful. And here's the kicker: most blokes think it's just age. It's not. It's dopamine fatigue. Your brain is screaming, "I can't keep up with this artificial intensity anymore." I've seen men in my practice, fit as Mally bulls, who've lost sensitivity not because of age, but because they've overloaded their nervous system. The solution? A proper reset. Take a fortnight off from visual stimulation entirely. Relearn what natural arousal feels like through touch, through breathing, through presence. Let your body remember what genuine sensation is without the constant dopamine bombardment. Now, here's something that'll surprise you. Where you do this matters just as much as how you do it. I'm talking about the bathroom habit. Look, I get it. The dunny is private, it's convenient, the door locks. For many blokes, especially those living with partners or family, it's the only space that feels completely yours. But here's the hidden danger. That position, hunched forward, sitting for extended periods, it restricts blood flow to your pelvic region. And after 60, circulation is everything. Blood flow is what keeps your prostate healthy, your erection strong, and your bladder functioning properly. When you compress those arteries and nerves, especially during arousal, you're silently damaging the very systems that keep you functioning. I've seen this pattern repeatedly. Blokes developing groin pain, weak urinary stream, post-urination dribbling, or pelvic tension, and they never connect it to sitting in that cramped position for too long. Your pelvic region needs space and movement to stay healthy. So next time, avoid sitting or hunching. Try standing, reclining, or even lying down. Give your body room to breathe. Your prostate will thank you for it. And this brings us to something that affects nearly every Australian man over 60. The rush. We're a nation of doers, right? Get in, get the job done, move on. But when you approach intimate moments, even solo ones, like a task to tick off, you're sending all the wrong signals to your nervous system. Your heart rate spikes too fast. Blood vessels constrict. Your body never enters that calm, healing state that releases beneficial hormones and improves mood. Sure, you might reach climax, but your body misses out on the real benefits. Instead of feeling satisfied, you feel drained. Instead of energized, you feel
Over
empty.
time,
This pattern literally changes your brain structure. Pleasure becomes shallow and disconnected. You lose sensitivity, stamina, and interest. The fix? Slow down, mate. Make every moment intentional. Your nervous system at this age thrives on calm stimulation, not sudden tension. There's no finish line anymore, just connection. Now let's talk about something most Australian blokes have never even heard of, but it controls everything from your confidence to your continence, your pelvic floor. I know, sounds like something only Sheilas need to worry about, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Your pelvic floor sits beneath your bladder, prostate, and sexual organs. It controls everything: erection strength, bladder control, even orgasm intensity. When it weakens, everything above it suffers. I once worked with a 68-year-old former tradie, fit bloke, ate well, stayed active, but he couldn't understand why his sexual function was declining. The culprit? A weak pelvic floor. Years of sitting, stress, and disconnection from that region had deteriorated his foundation. When you engage in self-pleasure without activating these muscles, or worse, by straining or pushing, you weaken them further. That's why some men experience post-urination dribbling, weaker erections, or reduced sensation. The solution is pelvic floor activation. Try this. During arousal, gently contract the same muscles you'd use to stop urinating midstream. Hold for a few seconds, then release. This builds body awareness, muscle tone, and blood flow. With consistency, you can restore both control and confidence. Which brings us to a question every bloke asks, but few get honest answers about: how often is too often or not enough? This one makes a lot of men uncomfortable. Some worry they're doing it too much. Others feel they've gone too long without. Here's the truth. Both extremes can throw off your balance. Too frequent. Your prostate can become irritated. Energy drops, recovery slows. Pleasure becomes routine rather than rejuvenating. Too infrequent? You risk stagnation, poor circulation, nerve sensitivity loss, and even atrophy from disuse. Your body was designed for rhythm, not extremes. In my experience, for most men over 60, once or twice a week is ideal, practiced with mindfulness and intention. This rhythm maintains hormonal balance, circulation, and prevents both stagnation and fatigue. It's not about rules, it's about listening to your body, because at this age, your body speaks quietly, and your job is to listen. But even if your frequency is spot on, one single mistake can quietly ruin everything. And this one's something most blokes don't even suspect: using too much pressure or force. This is one of the most damaging, yet overlooked habits among older men. When sensitivity decreases with age, the natural response is to press harder, grip tighter, or use rougher surfaces. But this instinct backfires on you. The nerves are extremely delicate. Years of excessive pressure can lead to microinjuries, scar tissue, reduced elasticity, and even curvature, a condition called Peyronie's disease. I've seen men who gradually lost sensation not because of age, but because of trauma from excessive friction. Force doesn't restore feeling, it destroys it over time. This also changes your brain structure. Pleasure becomes something you fight for rather than something you simply relax into. And that tension blocks the blood flow and hormones that create satisfaction. So, be gentler. Your body responds to patience and care, not punishment. Finally, and this might be the most important thing I tell you today, the emotional component. Over time, many older men stop feeling connected during self-intimacy. It becomes a mechanical routine, silent, joyless. They're not doing it for pleasure anymore. They're doing it out of habit or loneliness. But when self-pleasure loses emotion, it also loses its healing potential. Your brain stops releasing oxytocin, the connection hormone that relieves anxiety and creates happiness. Dopamine stops replenishing motivation. You might climax, but feel empty afterward. This isn't age, this is disconnection. Even solitary touch can be sacred. It can be a moment of gratitude, a way to reconnect with your body, your breath, your vitality. Touch yourself not to escape, but to reconnect, not to release, but to renew. Your body is still yours, it still
feels.
matters. And when you bring emotion and mindfulness back into this space, your entire nervous system heals in ways medicine can't measure. So let's bring this all together with practical steps you can implement today. First, reduce visual overload. Focus on sensation and imagination instead of screens. Second, change your environment. Avoid the bathroom. Adopt a relaxed, reclined position that supports circulation. Third, slow your pace. Treat the experience as relaxation, not urgency. Fourth, engage your pelvic floor with gentle contractions to build control and stimulate nerve pathways. Fifth, find your natural frequency once or twice weekly with mindfulness supports prostate health and hormonal balance. Sixth, use gentle touch. Always prioritize blood flow and comfort over force. And seventh, reintroduce emotion. Gratitude, breathing, and connection are the most powerful performance enhancers you'll ever find. Listen, if you've made it this far, I want to speak to you not just as a health professional, but as someone who spent years listening to good men struggle in silence. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You're simply evolving. Your body is asking for a new kind of attention, one based on awareness, not habit. And when you give it that, everything changes. Pleasure returns, confidence returns, connection with yourself or with a partner starts feeling alive again. Getting older isn't the end of vitality, it's a shift in how you relate to your body. So slow down, be curious again. Your body is still speaking, you just need to listen. If this video helped you, hit that like button and share it with another bloke who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe to ManStrong. Every week, I share real information to help you live stronger, longer, and more connected at any age, because your best years aren't behind you, mate. They're right here, right now, the moment you choose to take care of yourself. Stay strong, Australia.